Driver again, me.
Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about things I wish I knew before driving for Uber. Whether you're a new driver or whether you're currently driving for Uber, hopefully there'll be some hints and tips in here that'll help you maximize your profit. After all, none of us want to end up like Jack Bauer and crying within the first 24 hours of driving. Hey guys, let's get straight into it. You'll have to forgive the cheese. I'm just having a bit of fun making a video that's hopefully going to help you guys out. Dash cams. A dash cam is one of the most important things you can have as a driver. One that records exterior as well as interior. Not only for safety reasons, it's also for your safety. And should you have any false allegations made against you by a rider, you have proof on your CCTV that can be sent to Uber. Now, Uber has introduced in some cities a record my ride feature. So while you're driving along, you'll be able to record what's happening in your car. However, the angle of your phone may not always get what you want. So it's always recommended to have one that records outside and inside. Familiarize yourself with the Uber app. There's plenty of options and features in there that can be quite daunting when you first start. You have simple settings like day or night for your camera's brightness whilst you're driving, obviously with day or night. Then you have more advanced features such as looking back on previous earnings in your area from the previous week, so you can work out whether it's worthwhile you going out or not. You can do things like report a rider for misbehavior, misconduct. If someone's sick in your car, you'll be able to report for a cleaning bill in the options to submit. There's plenty in there, so make sure you take the time and you go through all of them settings and you check what each of them do. There's a great help section for you to just do a simple search for what you're looking for and it will bring up topics on that. Make sure you track every single expense, from a puncher to buying a dash cam. Each of it counts, from petrol and any little thing that your car may need. Also, create yourself a little nest where you can put away a certain amount each week from your profits, for such times as when you may need unexpected car maintenance, or the most important thing, to be able to pay your taxes at the end of the year. For anyone in the UK, it's now being ordered from our government that the likes of YouTube or Uber will submit your earnings directly to them so they have a cross-reference. So it's very important to keep hold of a little extra money so you can pay your taxes on time so you don't get into any trouble. The next two tips kind of coincide together. Drive safely. Often you'll get riders jump in the back of your car. I need to be here by such and such. I need to be here by such and such. Put your foot down and I'll tip you on the app. Them off, okay? Do not break any of the rules just so you can get someone to where they're meant to be sooner. They're not going to tip you on the app. They'll say they will, but they won't. On that note, if you ever arrive at a rider's home, a rider's pickup point, and there's too many passengers for what you're licensed for, the last thing you want to do is do that ride. If anything happens while you do that ride, if there's an accident, if there's a crash, if you're reported, if you're stopped by the police, you are breaking the law. You are the sole responsible person. The rider won't care. They're going to get out and say, see you later, mate. And you won't even get your tip on the app while you deal with the fine. In some cases, it can be classed as not having insurance. If you don't have insurance in the UK for that particular job, you get 6 points on your license and up to £1,000 fine. So for the sake of a 50p pound tip, then write off. When a job pops up on the screen, it's important to train your eyes on what the most important thing is. First of all, you have the amount you're going to get paid for that ride. Then you have the rider's rating Drivers can all rate the riders at the end of each trip. This is what other drivers have rated this rider. You then have the distance of where you are to the job and roughly how long it's going to take. You then have the miles of the job and the end destination where you're going to end up. Sometimes it's far too much to take all that into account in 10 seconds. So me personally, I look at the main things. First of all, how far am I from the job? How much I'm getting paid, where I'm going to end up. I'm quite familiar with the postcodes where I work. I suggest you pull up a postcode map of your area and get yourself quite familiar with it. I don't really look at the Uber rider rating. That's because I'm from a local firm and I'm not used to having any ratings at all. It's handy to know. I mean, I did once have a job that had a 3.2 rated rider. I was very concerned about this job, but it wasn't something I looked at till I was on my way. All it turned out to be was a guy sat behind me and he sung every single lyric to every song. Given the guy sounded like a cat being strangled. But, you know, I give him 5 stars. He had a good time. He was fine. I guess a lot of drivers don't like that type of thing. On that exact same note, remember, you do not have to accept any job you deem you don't want to. Simply let it time out or press the little cross in the corner. You are not forced to do any of the jobs that pop up. It's entirely up to you. I know this one might seem obvious, but take a packed lunch with you. When I first started, I was getting takeouts 2, sometimes 3 a day, depending on how much I worked. I was going to all the regular places and spending a lot of money in these places. Now, I simply take a packed lunch out with me, a couple of sandwiches that I keep in my glove compartment. Not only does it cut down a lot on the cost, it's also, it's slightly healthier than going to these fast food places. As I'm sure you're aware, being a taxi driver, well, you mightn't be if you're new, but being a taxi driver is not the healthiest lifestyle. So anything you can do to cut back on it, will help you keep your lifestyle healthy. I'm clearly not someone who can tell you much about that. But, you know, keep this in mind. If you're constantly eating junk food because it's quick, easy, something to do, absolutely full of sugar, most of them places. Try and stay away from it. Try and take something out with you. And make sure you have regular breaks. Don't just sit in your car all the time. You know, after a couple of hours, 2 hours, say, get out your car, go for a little walk around it, stretch yourself, do a couple of stretches. It really can be bad for your health sitting in your car for so long. You're going to be spending a lot of money on fuel, petrol, diesel. You're going to be spending a lot. Obviously, some of the new cars, it's going to be electric. But what I would advise you to do is sign up to some type of program that has a reward scheme. Many of the big petrol stations do it. They soon add up. You will get rewards back. If you're an electric car, make sure that you have a night tariff and charge your car up overnight rather than during the day to save money. Petrol, diesel, sign up for the point reward schemes. They do add up, guys. You'll be surprised just how quick you end up getting free stuff, money off, or vouchers. Try not to be tense with people when they get in the car. Go with the flow of what they want. If they get in the car, put earphones in, don't say a word to you. So what? You listen to your music. I have a 3-question rule. It can be any 3 random questions. And this is how I judge how the rider wants the ride to be. So they'll get in the car and I'll ask them 3 random questions. For example, I'll say, how's your day been? Fine. Right, okay. I'll try again. Up to anything tonight? No. Oh, okay. And then one last time, I'll try and communicate with them just to try and break the ice. Third time's a charm and all that. I'll say, you know, do you watch football? No, don't. I know by the third question, this rider's not interested in a chat. They want the ride to be quiet. Just listen to your radio and ignore them. When they go, be polite, say ta-ra. That's it. Now, on the other hand, if you get a rider come in, are you up to anything tonight? Oh yeah, I'm going out with my mates. We're going to have a laugh. We're going to have drinks. Before you know it, you're Dr. Phil for these people, and they're telling you their whole life story, waffling on. Let them lead the conversation. The worst thing a rider does is when they get in is a taxi driver that just talks about himself. People like to talk about themselves. Let them get on with it. At the end of it, they'll more than likely rate you high. They might even give you the tip. It's very important, though, that you do read how the rider wants the journey to be. If you're not a very chatty person, I mean, that's fine too. Just be polite to them. If you like a good chit chat, I mean, I'm one of them drivers that'll have a chit chat, but I'll always do the 3-question test first to read the situation. Don't drive around aimlessly looking for work. Just driving round in circles. It's not really how Uber works. Yeah, you may catch a job or two, but the amount of fuel you're wasting and the stressful situations you can get in when there's no need to be. The only time I'll drive around aimlessly is when I end up in the middle of nowhere. Say, for example, a farmer's field, or, there's no metropolitan life around me at all. It's quite deserted, quite slow. Or I'll end up in an area that I don't know much about. I simply do a Google search. And if you open up your Google, what's nearby? Where's the nearest pub? Where's the nearest supermarket, depending on the time of day? And then head towards that. Head towards where there's life, where there's potential customers. And then you'll find a job soon enough. But generally, whenever you drop off, drive a bit round the corner and just wait. The time you spend driving round, you could have just been sitting, chilling, having a rest, having your sandwich from your glove box, or at least walking around, just doing a little stretch. I wouldn't recommend driving around looking for work unless you're in the middle of nowhere. That's different. But if you're in a built-up city, don't go looking for it. It will come to you eventually. Some other drivers may disagree with this. I found from personal experience just to wait. You may have heard me mention this before. There's a feature that once you've accepted a job, to stop new requests. I strongly recommend you use this. Not only when you're getting to the end of a ride, Uber will start spamming you with jobs close by. It's very distracting. Also, when you put yourself on stop new requests, it takes you offline with the system. Therefore, if you're heading into a potential surge zone, that surge zone will remain when you press go. On that subject, don't chase the surge. Don't see a surge on the map and head towards it, because so's every other driver. And then when they get there, they will be no surge. It doesn't take long for it to dissipate. So don't chase the surges and put yourself offline after each job. When you've dropped the rider off, just press go again and see what's happening. This is a strong recommendation. People in America have been doing this a lot and the surges have been remaining. If more people do it here in the UK, it could help a lot of potential earnings increase. I can't stress enough how important it is to follow road laws as well as Uber guidelines. If you're stopping in bus stops and sticking your indicators on your hazards on just to do a drop off, you're breaking the law. You can be fined. It's not worth it. Don't stop at zigzags on schools. It's not worth it. And the worst I've ever seen was an Uber cough Wolverhampton plate actually stopped on a roundabout to let the customer out. Don't do any of that. It's totally not worth it. Stop at a safe place. Explain to the rider, I can't stop there because, and then stop at a safe place. On that note, make sure you don't pick up any minors. Now, Uber is going to be introducing UberTeen soon, if not already by the time you're watching this video, where you're allowed to pick up teens, but it's always best not to pick up minors without an without an adult accompanying them. With Uber, it's an absolute headache dealing with lost property. It really is. You don't get a job back to them. You could be miles away from them. But in Uber's guidelines, it's your responsibility to return the lost property. Now, you do have a couple of options. You could drop it in at a police station, or you could drop it in at the hub. But either way, who wants to be taking the time out to do that? It's advisable to always just have a quick look behind you. Check the floor, check the well, just as they're getting out, to make sure they haven't left nothing behind. If they have, give a quick honk on your horn, or shout them back because you'll have the name, and just say, "Oh, you've left your brolly. Oh, you've left your bag. Oh, the last thing you want to do is have to deal with a lost property call from Uber. So don't let it happen in the first place. Take them 2 seconds just to have a quick look. It's mainly mobile phones, and just shout them back. Don't get in a situation where you have to go out your way to return something. Here in the UK, we have assist drivers as well as access drivers. For the majority of people, you can do an online course to become an assist driver. An assist driver is somebody that helps people with invisible disabilities, such as autism and blindness, things like that. You do a little online course and it opens up all the assist jobs for you, but you have to complete that course first online. It took me about an hour, I think. And since then, I've had quite a few jobs, and it comes up where it displays the UberX, it comes up with assist. You get 15% more given to you every Tuesday in your wallet for them jobs that you've completed. So if I complete a job for £10, that's an assist job. Come the Tuesday, there'll be an extra £1.50 in my bank, in the wallet, rather. It's definitely worth taking the time out to do this. And the final, but the most important tip I can give you is like and subscribe to the channel. This lets me know that the videos I'm doing are helpful for people, and I will keep doing them. Stay safe, drive safe. See you in a bit.